So a ton of people in real life ask me, where do I start learning about investing? And I tell them the same thing every time. Check out this video by Bill Ackman on everything you need to know about finance and investing. It's under an hour. And then the second one is read this book by Peter Lynch. And despite me telling them this, I always follow up a week later with someone. I'm like, hey, did you watch the video? Hey, did you at least download or buy the book? And they say, oh no, I haven't gotten to it yet. And I'm just like, what are you what are you doing? Like, are you stupid or something? Like, seriously. Like, the video is literally, I think, like 48 minutes. And if you can't watch a video to learn about something that you asked to learn about, how do you think you're gonna do in that field? You might as well not even do it. You might as well just index and just buy 500 companies that you have no clue about. And a second point is, why are you clicking on this video watching me instead of Bill Ackman and explain stuff? It's actually incredible, but it's not just me. It's a ton of other people too. There are so many random people on the internet giving finance advice and they get a ton of views, but then you have other people that are established hedge fund managers, multi-billionaires. Like, for example, Warren Buffett. You could read all his annual shareholder reports. You could read all the books he tells you to read, which is Securities Analysis and The Intelligent Investor. And also like, what's it called? The Super Investors of Graham and Doddsville or something like that. I forgot the exact name. But instead, people are watching YouTube videos on how to drop ship or whatever, or like how to day trade. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, the answer's right in front of you. We live in a crazy time right now where you can access so much information for free. The internet exists. Our parents probably couldn't do this. They'd probably have to subscribe to this expensive magazine to learn about some of the stuff that we have to learn about today. Or they have to sit in the library. No, not just sit in the library. They have to go outside, walk or drive to the library, find the book in the library without a computer. You have to learn the Dewey Decimal System and like find the book and then read about it. But today we could just download a copy of Securities Analysis and start reading right away. We could watch this 45-minute video from Bill Ackman and learn pretty much all the basics there is to basic. But instead, we watch these random YouTubers that just do a lot of random stuff. And I know. Sometimes people like relatability. The two things I recommended to you to read about right now or watch were from Bill Ackman and Peter Lynch. These are a bunch of two old, straight, cis white dudes, right? Like, people, it's not a popular demographic right now. Shameful of me, I know. Let's add some diversity. So in terms of like general content, I feel like those two are the best. So that's why I recommend them. It's not due to race or anything, but if you want some diversity, it's all good. I got you covered, because a lot of other ones that are good right now is Mohnish Pabrai. He's an Indian investor and he's pretty much like a Buffett worshipper. He loves Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett so much, and he does a lot of long talks at universities that are recorded, and you could just watch them for free on his YouTube channel. It's actually good stuff. And he covers all sorts of topics, which is really, really nice. Another person you could look at is Lee Lu. He's another person that Charlie Munger actually gives him money to invest. It's the only person that he trusts with his money, which is a feat that no one else in the world can say, I think. And that's actually incredible. So those are two people if you want something a little more diverse, but he doesn't make that much content. So there's that. Okay, what about the women? So unfortunately, finance is stereotypically men. I don't know what the percentages are, but it's probably like 90% to 10%, just like my YouTube demographics. But I actually feel like women would make better investors than men. A lot of times when I read investing books, I'm like, stereotypically speaking, not that I'm a bigot or anything, a lot of the stuff you should do in investing are pretty feminine. Because all the YOLOing stuff, which is like more of a guy thing to YOLO, right? You learn that you shouldn't do it, and you should be patient, you should be risk averse, and scrutinize literally everything. All right, now I'm being like super sexist. But essentially, well, you all know what I'm gonna say. All right, so here are some women that I would recommend looking up to in the finance world. None of them really make that much content though, that's the issue. But please do not say Kathy Wood. Kathy Wood is like a one-hit wonder and then just fell back down to normal person status or whatever. I don't know the term. One-hit wonder to regular person. And Let's look at her fund's performance right now. Wow, let's look at ARK Invest and see how it did. So when it was up a lot over the S&P 500 because she just YOLO'd onto Tesla and other tech stocks, yeah, you're gonna do better some years, right? But then now in 2022, she's completely dead even with them. All right, for the exact numbers, I put it into a ETF return calculator. This is with dividends reinvested. And if you invested $1 at the fund start, which was in 2014, you would have $2.2 today, which is an annual return of 9.37%. Let's see what happens if you did like just a general index fund that everyone buys. Not everyone, but a lot of people buy instead. Oh, you'd have $2.56 and a 11.26% return. So ARK Fund is actually, the famous one at least, is actually doing worse than the S&P 500. That is wild. Okay, so not Kathy Wood. That was the whole point. I just couldn't help crapping on someone. I'm evil, I know. So as I said before, a lot of the female investors, they don't really make much content. And then there is this other person, and this is when I feel diversity actually is important. And I found this person when I was looking on how to start a hedge fund without having that much money. And this person did it. She found a way to start a hedge fund without needing accredited investors. And her name is Sarah Burnett. Unfortunately, she doesn't really do much. And she's like a lawyer who like started a hedge fund, I guess, as a hobby on the side. But I learned how to start a hedge fund from that person. And I think that's where diversity actually means something, because it took someone to kind of see a situation and kind of take a different angle at it, because most people think that you need to be accredited in order to invest in a hedge fund, but she found a way to do it without needing that. She essentially started a hedge fund which was aimed at low to middle income investors, and the minimum investment requirement is just $1,000, which is astronomically low for hedge funds, in case you are not familiar with the space. Yeah, even this Business Insider article says they're not even sure how it's legal, but there are some loopholes, and I sent it to a hedge fund lawyer because I know some, and I asked them to look into it, and they're like, yes, there is like this very, very specific way to do it, and this person figured it out, so I thought that was kind of cool. We can actually look at one of the SEC filings over here, and you scrolled all the way down below, and you'll see that she checks off a few different rules than most people normally do, and that's probably how she's able to figure out how to do it. So that's really, really cool in my opinion. But yeah, raised around $70,000, not that much, but if you're aiming a hedge fund at low to middle income people, it's kind of hard to get like a lot of money, right? But yeah, if you look at most, what is this called? Like a Form D or whatever. Most people don't check these two boxes. Let's look up a different one. So I looked up one for Mohnish Pabrai, and this was one of the people we were talking about earlier, and they do Rule 506. It's a little different. So I'm assuming it has to do something with those rules. And I'll be honest, I have not checked this. And when I talked to the lawyer last time, this was like 5 years ago, so I actually don't remember all the details, but it has to do something with one of these two rules. Maybe someone can look it up if they're bored and want to start a hedge fund for non-accredited investors. I don't know why you would want to do that, but that's something I learned, which was really wild. But I guess the message is if you actually want to learn something, you just have to go out there and find it. And well, you don't even have to find it anymore. I told you what to start with, because again, a lot of people don't know where to start. Then when you want more advanced stuff, you could look for it in the same people, but I like to branch out a little bit. I like learning from different people. I don't like reading like 10 books or 10 articles from one person. I'd rather do 10 articles from 10 different people that are in a similar strategy. That way, so I actually do get a benefit of diversity, even though it's only in thought and not skin color or gender. But maybe I'll like post a reading list later that I kind of have. Maybe I should put it on a website. You know what? I'll put it up on one of my websites that I'll release in a little bit. So I guess we have something to kind of look forward to. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, you guys better watch the Bill Ackman video right after this, and then maybe later tonight or later today, download, get the Audible or whatever of the Peter Lynch book. Since he's super rich, I'll just say it. It's okay. I have found the audiobook for free on YouTube. For some reason, it's not taken down. So you really have no excuse not to listen to Peter Lynch's audiobook, because I feel like his approach is really good for people like you and me, because it's hard to compete in a lot of people I know, they like to do like technical analysis, and there's none of that from any of these guys. They look more in terms of like fundamentals and stuff. But like, if you want to compete as a retail investor using technical analysis, you're literally going up against like machines. So that's why I don't think it's that possible. But the Peter Lynch method, I think it still has some validity because retail investors, he actually thinks they have an advantage over all the established people. So I'll leave the spoilers into the book so you guys actually read it. But yeah, you better watch those videos and stop watching other YouTubers for like investment advice, to be honest with you.